Good morning, everyone. I'm the friendly astronomer, Larry Burrs here. And I wonder if any of you know what I just did. That's right. I just played a scale, a musical scale. But today, with this installment of the Friendly Astronomer, we're going to talk about the word scale in a different way. We're going to talk about it regarding places that you've heard a lot about, and I think you need to know more about. They're called the planets of the solar system. And in these various series of segments, I'm going to try to give you a better idea of just where you are in the universe. And we're going to start with the solar system. And we're going to start with the idea of scale. What does that mean? Let's talk about this a little bit more. Most of us live on a planet. I think we all do. We're living on the Earth. And the point of living on the Earth is to try to better understand what it means to live on a planet. And in our day-to-day life, that's kind of hard to do because, as you know, especially in these times, we're very busy people. We're trying to finish the routines of the day, from doing our laundry to cooking our meals to driving the car to gassing up and trying to take care of the family. So it becomes very, very difficult for us to understand just where are we? And our goal today is to try to help you better understand through an activity how you can discover where you are in space, and in particular in the solar system. So what I've done today, I'm going to be demonstrating with a couple of activities that I really want you to try on your own to gather some materials and do this too at your home. And we're going to start today with the idea of the scale of size in the solar system. When we meet again, I want to talk about distance. And then maybe the next time we'll put it all together in a grander scheme. So let's begin. Let's talk about the Earth a little bit. And, you're going to have to help me here because you're going to have to find some of these objects yourself. I'm happy to say that I have an Earth here. It's a ball. It's a bowling ball. And this ball is 8 inches in diameter. And we're going to say that it's our planet. It's the Earth. Now, probably from science, you know a lot of numbers. But the key here isn't so much knowledge. And I know all of you there probably have a lot of knowledge about the solar system. Planets and stars and galaxies and all kinds of things. I mean, you know a lot of numbers too. Maybe you know some distances and size. Let's take the Earth, for example. The Earth is, first of all, it's a globe. And this globe is about 8,000 miles across. Well, that's a big number. And if you know the size of the United States, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 miles across. So the Earth is obviously much larger than North America. So what's interesting here is, if the Earth were the size of this ball, and I took my hand, I went around that ball, how far would that be? Well, that's another question for you to think about too. That's a number that's also very big. It's 25,000 miles to go around the Earth, which we also call the circumference of the Earth. Now, what's kind of interesting, and we're going to talk about the scale of size in these few minutes, is if this is the size of the Earth, the size of this 8-inch bowling ball, how big would the moon be? Well, we see the moon in the sky quite a bit. Maybe this week you'll be noticing at the end of April that the moon seems to be waxing, getting brighter and bigger. But compared to the Earth, if the Earth were the size of an 8-inch bowling ball, how big would the moon be? Well, maybe you've heard that the moon is about a quarter the size of the Earth, that 4 moons could fit across the size of the Earth. Now what do? We're going to have to find something that's a quarter the size of this 8-inch diameter Earth. 8 divided by 2, 4, 2. And it just so happens I have a 2-inch ball here. Okay, so we can see here the scale size of the Earth and the moon. And that might surprise you because most of us just see the moon in the sky. And we're on the Earth. But from space, this is interesting. Look at the difference of the size. In other words, if I put the moon upon the Earth, it would probably stretch from about Cleveland, Ohio to San Francisco, California. Interesting. And 4 of them could fit across the face of the Earth. So that's a study in size. Let's keep going, though, in the next couple of minutes. Maybe your question for you to think about until we meet again. How far should I separate the moon and the Earth to give you an idea of the actual scale size between these two. You might be surprised by the answer. In most textbooks or science books that you probably have, you'll probably see a picture of the planets all gathered together like this. They're kind of grouped nicely together, and they have to be, because when you receive your book, it might be on an 8.5 by 11-inch piece of paper, and you got to put all the planets in there. But where are they? How big are they really? And how far apart are they? Let's talk about that for a minute. Close your eyes, open them up. This is no longer the Earth, this is the sun. An 8-inch ball. What would the size be of the other planets compared to this 8-inch ball? And I want you to try it at home to find an 8-inch ball. It doesn't have to be a bowling ball, and you don't want to drop it, but about this size too. It doesn't have to be perfect. For example, let's go through the solar system and compare the size of the planets compared to this ball. And let's do so. How about, who knows the name of the planet closest to the sun? As far as we know, yeah, that's right. It's the planet Mercury. And it just so happens, and maybe you can too, if you can find the head of a pin, and I'm going to hold this right up here, and I'm going to put it right next to the sun. This is the planet Mercury compared to the size of the sun, which is pretty amazing to see when you think about it. What's the next planet from the sun, remember? It's the one that's in the sky right now, in the west, in the evening. It's really bright. Yeah, that's right, it's Venus. So I'm going to find the planet Venus. And you can too at home if you can find somewhere in your sewing kit a big pin. And I'm holding the planet Venus next to the sun. Wow. The sun's pretty big. Venus is pretty small. That's one of the points we're trying to learn here with the idea of scale. In our solar system, the sun is huge, immense. The planets they're barely an afterthought. How about the Earth? Probably some of you know that the Earth is about the same size as Venus. Here's a good question. How many of these pinheads would fit inside the sun ball that I'm holding? I'll tell you maybe next time we meet. Think about that. That's a good question. Mars. We hear a lot of talk about the planet Mars. And here it is. Mars compared to the sun. Wow. Pretty small. Bet a lot of Marses could fit inside the sun. What's the name of the biggest planet, everybody? That's right, Jupiter. I found this grape. About 10 Jupiters could fit across the face of the sun. So you can find things at home that kind of match. They don't have to look like Jupiter, but just so you can remember them. And the next one, Saturn. A slightly smaller grape compared to the sun. Didn't put a ring around this one. Maybe you can have some fun putting a ring around your Saturn. What's next? Well, there are 2 planets there. And if you can find them, a peanut will do. Planet Uranus compared to the, oops, come back here. Tried to get away. Planet Uranus compared to the sun, and then, yep, Neptune. About the same size as the Uranian planet next to the sun. Interesting. Dwarf planet Pluto. You'll need to find another pinhead. I'll hold that together. There. Interesting, huh? So when we talk about scale, today's lesson is to learn you too can make scale models in your home. Find the right props. A ball, pinheads, grapes, peanuts, maybe a little styrofoam ball for the moon, and you can have some fun with that. When we meet again, we're going to be talking about the distances between all these objects, and I think that'll really be something for you to learn about. Because what's so wonderful and amazing and awesome is that, well, the sun's really big, and the spaces between all these planets, though, are amazingly, awesomely, really huge. And that's part of learning about where we are and your place in space. So this is Larry Burrs, the friendly astronomer, planetarium director at the Malcolm Science Center, saying keep looking up. Bye-bye till we meet again.